Here are famous quotes by George Washington. Make sure you are doing what God wants you to do, then do it with all your strength. 99% of failures come from people who make excuses. Do not let anyone claim the tribute of American patriotism if they even attempt to remove religion from politics. Great people are not affected by each puff of wind that blows ill. Like great ships, they sail serenely on, in a calm sea or a great tempest. If ever again our nation stumbles upon unfunded paper, it shall surely be like death to our body politic. This country will crash. When one side only of a story is heard and often repeated, the human mind becomes impressed with it insensibly. Truth will ultimately prevail where there are pains taken to bring it to light. Have the strength to be an honest person. Worry is the interest paid by those who borrow trouble. The Constitution is the guide which I never will abandon. Few men have virtue to withstand the highest bidder. Associate with men of good quality if you esteem your own reputation, for it is better to be alone than in bad company. Be courteous to all, but intimate with few, and let those few be well tried before you give them your confidence. We cannot guarantee success, we can strive to deserve it. Happiness depends more upon the internal frame of a person's own mind than on the externals in the world. The marvel of all history is the patience with which men and women submit to burdens unnecessarily laid upon them by their governments. I hope I shall possess firmness and virtue enough to maintain what I consider the most enviable of all titles, the character of an honest man. The time is near at hand which must determine whether Americans are to be free men or slaves. To be prepared for war is one of the most effective means of preserving peace. When there is no vision, there is no hope. Give not advice without being asked, and when desired, do it briefly. There is no practice more dangerous than that of borrowing money. I can only say that there is not a man living who wishes more sincerely than I do to see a plan adopted for the abolition of slavery. The whole duty of man is summed up in obedience to God's will. It is much easier at all times to prevent an evil than to rectify mistakes. It is better to offer no excuse than a bad one. Freedom and property rights are inseparable. You can't have one without the other. Example, whether it be good or bad, has a powerful influence. There is nothing so likely to produce peace as to be well prepared to meet the enemy. It is infinitely better to have a few good men than many indifferent ones. Leadership is not only having a vision, but also having the courage, the discipline, and the resources to get you there. A sensible woman can never be happy with a fool. We must consult our means rather than our wishes. If we are wise, let us prepare for the worst. We must never despair. Our situation has been compromising before, and it has changed for the better, so I trust it will again. If difficulties arise, we must put forth new exertion and proportion our efforts to the exigencies of the times. It's wonderful what we can do if we're always doing. It is impossible to account for the creation of the universe without the agency of a supreme being. A good moral character is the first essential. It is highly important not only to be learned but to be virtuous. Happiness and moral duty are inseparably connected. The views of men can only be known or guessed at by their words or actions. Without virtue and without integrity, the finest talents and the most brilliant accomplishments can never gain the respect and conciliate the esteem of the truly valuable part of mankind. Experience teaches us that it is much easier to prevent an enemy from posting themselves than it is to dislodge them after they have got possession. Let your heart feel for the afflictions and distress of everyone, and let your hand give in proportion to your purse. A free people ought not only to be armed but disciplined, to which end a uniform and well-digested plan is requisite. Like and subscribe to Possible for sure.